Even though Total War Warhammer 3 features some of the more niche factions in Games Workshop's old world, it makes it all the more impressive that Creative Assembly have managed to make the third entry into this trilogy the largest and most dynamic. As GameSpot's resident Warhammer nerd, I got to play a few hours with a preview build of Total War Warhammer 3, specifically the campaigns of Grand Cathay and the newly announced pick and mix of demons, Chaos Undivided. And while the other races of Kislevites, demons and ogres weren't playable, they certainly made their presence known on the battlefield. With the addition of Chaos Undivided, that brings the number of playable races at launch up to 8, those being Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, Khorne, Chaos Undivided, Kislev, the Ogre Kingdoms, and Grand Cathay. No matter the choice, however, it appears that each faction's story will see them heading to the realms of chaos themselves. Creative Assembly have stated that this game's map is twice the size as the previous entry, and the home of each Chaos God will certainly help make up a portion of that. As the story progresses, rifts will open up in the world, allowing you to enter a realm of your choosing, each with its own unique challenges and gameplay. Nurgle is full of disease and players must find resistances and cures before they lose armies to attrition. Khorne will only allow you to delve deeper into his domain after spilling enough blood. Tzeentch's realm is made of riddles and you must choose the correct teleporter runes to delve deeper into the realm, and Slaanesh is based around challenging descents through circles of depravity. Each god will also tempt you with rewards of items, resistances, currency, alliances with chaotic forces, and more. However, the trade-off is a permanent negative trait tied to your character, so it'll be up to you to choose whether or not these boons are worth the price you pay. But it is only at the center of these realms that you will face the new, challenging final survival battles of the particular Chaos God. You are of course competing with every other faction too, so it's more than likely that you'll encounter armies from across the campaign here in the realms of chaos, be they friend or foe. Cathay was the first faction I chose to play as I was intrigued to see how Creative Assembly could build a faction that had previously only existed as snippets of lore within the Warhammer fantasy books. These dragon defenders of the Great Bastion share their starting point with a Great Wall, separating themselves from a never-ending tide of chaos invasion. This defensive element to their start and their lore is mirrored in the units that they can field, but with it comes one key element that is unique to their forces. Harmony and balance is a core feature to Grand Cathay, and nearly every facet of their economy, buildings, research, and army reflects either an element of yin or yang. In the world map, keeping harmony will grant buffs to things like growth and public order, whereas being too heavily weighted in either direction will cause destabilization. This essence of harmony can also affect your units in battle, with each also having an element to yin or yang. Ensuring units of opposite alignment are close together during battles will boost their stats and make them all the more capable in combat. This extra level of strategy is minor, but it's a great feeling when you combine units to become a balanced and harmonious force that is more than the sum of their parts. Grand Cathay also has a few features that play into unique mechanics as well as their lore and map location. Their whooshing compass allows them to alter the winds of magic across their lands, allowing you to set up buffs and bonuses for future battles, or make life that little bit harder for the enemies beyond your walls. And the location on the Ivory Road means that Cathayan forces can send trade caravans westward to the old world, and the further you send them, the better the profit. But beware, as both dilemmas and rewards exist on these trails. These caravans work much like generals, albeit ones that you won't control directly in the world map. Instead, you'll set them off on their journey and they'll periodically check in on you if anything comes up during their travels. It could be anything from an Empire captain looking for work to ogres looking to you as their next meal, triggering a battle and giving you the option to command directly. These events are great as they allow you to feel like you have more control over the fate of your caravans, and engaging with them often grants you a little extra reward beyond the payday of goods delivered.
Gyrod's Fury!
Now, we were only made aware of the Chaos Undivided faction at the start of our hands-on with the game, and while I'm usually a stalwart follower of the Plaguefather, I was very excited for the ability to control an army of demons from every god under the banner of a single demon prince. The main drive for this faction is glory. Every time you win a battle or take a settlement, you have the ability to dedicate this victory or milestone to a chaos god, and doing so will grant you specific boons, units, and even body parts. The deeper your dedication, the bigger the rewards. You can opt in to diversify your favors and as such get a little something from every god to keep your arsenal and roster diverse, or you can choose to hone in on a specific god and playstyle and rush towards their more juicy rewards. And of course, as you are indeed playing as a demon prince, these rewards can also manifest physically. Nurgle could bless you with wings, Khorne a fiery armoured chest, Tzeentch the head of an avian beast, and Slaanesh a tooth-laden tail. All of these change the benefits your Demon Prince brings to your game, with many of them offering unique abilities and spells, different fighting styles, or just beefing up the unit's health and armour. Naturally, you can also change these as you see fit and on the fly, meaning that you can swap out the bits and pieces of your own mortal form at will, experiment with builds and combinations from different gods, or fully devote your flesh prison to the entity of your choosing. Seeing the swathe of garish colours and hellish forms taking to the field of battle after I'd ingratiated myself with a selection of the Warhammer gods was equal parts magnificent and hilarious, but did also drive home that emphasis of player choice.
Hell flee till the dawn!
Additional options for players seem to have been a core goal throughout the development of Creative Assembly's third entry into the world of Warhammer. Many of the improvements and changes that the team have made have been quality of life improvements as well as new or tweaked features. Enhanced diplomacy opens up better war coordination as well as the option to pay for outposts to be built in friendly allied territories, which will allow you to recruit a unit or two from their roster. Battles have also had some big changes, in particular siege and settlement battles. For the unwalled variety, many of them are now able to be assaulted from every angle. These 360-degree balances of attack and defense open up new strategic opportunities and avenues of attack. When it comes to the walled-in cities, however, changes to sieges mean that there are more options for defenders beyond garrisoning their walls. Should the fight take to the streets, the defender has the option to use Total War Warhammer 3's new supply system, letting generals throw up defending towers or barricades to either force fights into specific kill zones or ensure the attacking force has to dedicate resources into taking them down. Previously, siege battles would feel pretty stale, with the only options seeming to be defend the wall or abandon them entirely. But now there are many more options available to the defenders. This has had to be balanced for the attacker, however. As attackers face enemy units, breach walls, or take objectives, they will earn momentum, giving them buffs to their units to help counteract any traps, towers, or barricades. In the short time I got to play, I felt both these elements working in tandem made siege battles a much more strategic and engaging affair. There would be times where I'd willingly give up a wall or corner of my city because I knew I'd built up enough supplies to make an even stronger backline with troops already awaiting me. And as the attacker, I felt a drive to continue pushes and pincer attacks, knowing that my units were much more stalwart, driven on by the morale boosts of each little victory through breaches and objectives. Now we can hope that these changes will be retroactively applied to the previous games, or at least to their larger combined campaign map, but as of yet, when we are going to see that arrive in Warhammer 3 has not been confirmed. Although when I did speak to some members of the team, they did say that post-launch support will be similar to what we've come to expect of this franchise, and that sometime down the line a grand campaign and a suite of DLC will be coming. So something to be extra excited about even beyond the launch of Total War Warhammer 3 on the 17th of February. Now I do have a gameplay video ready for you right now showing off a bit of my time with Chaos Undivided, but other than that I think that's all I've got for you. If you have more questions, you can feel free to throw them down below or tweet me at @RegularDave and I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this little preview of Total War Warhammer 3. Make sure you subscribe and I'll see you next time.